For over 18 years, since August 30th, 2004, the world of science has been rocked by a hidden gem. Ever wonder what's the most luxurious thing discovered in the universe? Well, it's a planet made of a portion of a diamond called 55 Cancri E.
Astronomers believe they've discovered an orbiting planet in another solar system that is made largely out of diamond.
But don't get too excited about planning your next vacation there. It's actually not habitable. The surface temperature is far too hot for humans to survive. Unfortunately, it looks like hell. It burns a lot of blazing diamonds. Your imagination will probably be sparked by the thought of what it might look like, and of course how much it might be worth if it wasn't Earth. This makes exoplanet 55 Cancri E not just physically interesting, but otherwise scientifically and financially intriguing. Features of exoplanet 55 Cancri E. In 2012, a model of the planet's interior revealed that 55 Cancri E's composition included carbon. The leading elements are a composition of graphite, iron, and silicon carbide. According to Yale University's lead researcher Niku Madhusudan, their model differs from earlier ones. This is because, in contrast to earlier teams, they did not base their assumptions on Earth's chemical composition. But then in 2013, Johanna Teskey, a graduate student in astronomy at the University of Arizona, disputed this notion. According to her statement, the parent star or the sun of 55 Cancri E is cooler than the sun and contains more metals. She said that the 2012 study made potential mistakes by improperly analyzing the star's lone oxygen line in the spectrum. Instead, she discovered that the parent star of 55 Cancri E had 25% more oxygen than carbon. The term exoplanet means outside planet. It's used to refer to planets found outside our solar system. 55 Cancri E, also known as Janssen, is one of the most remarkable exoplanets we've discovered so far. It's located in the constellation Cancer, and it's 41 light-years away from Earth. Sounds pretty close, right? But if that's calculated in the value of miles, well, the gap is 230 trillion miles. Aside from being called Janssen, did you know that 55 Cancri E has always been dubbed as Super Earth because it has many similar characteristics to our planet, but with some key differences that make it uninhabitable for humans? 55 Cancri E is about twice the size of our planet and has 8 times more mass. This rocky world is so close to its parent star, which is called 55 Cancri A. In fact, it is closer than Mercury to our Sun, and the most interesting part is its revolution time. It'll just take 18 hours for it to orbit, whereas here on Earth, it took us 365 days to orbit around our Sun. This means that 1 year on 55 Cancri E lasts only 18 hours here on Earth. Moreover, since it's close to its Sun, it's described as tidally locked. It means one side of the planet always faces the light from the Sun, and the other side is in perpetual darkness, similar to our satellite, in which only one side of the Moon ever faced the Earth. The exoplanet was first discovered in 2004, and in 2012, it is believed to be composed of carbon atoms in a crystalline form called a diamond. The planet's density is roughly twice that of Earth, meaning its surface gravity would be twice as strong as ours, which is why humans cannot survive there. Another reason for its inhabitable feature is that the planet orbits its star at such a close distance. That's why its surface temperature reaches over 2000 degrees Celsius, which is hot enough to melt rock into magma. As they descend into the planet's core, the carbon atoms in its surface are transformed by extremely high temperatures. This turns into graphite and ultimately diamonds. The high temperature also means that any water on its surface would evaporate immediately. This would cause them to not be able to form oceans like those found on Earth.
Diamonds are incredibly rare. They are the purest form of transparent carbon, and they form under tremendous pressure and depth.
This may explain why there are no signs of any liquid water on 55 Cancri E, despite its proximity to our own solar system. Instead, it appears to be covered with oceans of molten lava and diamonds. We have all heard about 55 Cancri E, the exoplanet that's believed to be a diamond. Now that we know more about the planet and its features, let's look at what would happen if that diamond were to make its way back home. Let's talk about the greatest what if. What if the overflowing diamonds from this exoplanet found its way to Earth? What if all that diamond was on Earth? Ever wonder why diamonds are so expensive? Well, turns out they're not just pretty, they're also really hard to get. Although there may be a few on Earth, diamonds appear to be abundant elsewhere in the cosmos. Just consider extravagant pieces of jewelry and other luxurious crafts. For those who are having trouble with their debts, the idea of a diamond planet might seem like a dream come true. First, let me make one thing clear. This diamond planet cost $26.9 nonillion. And if you just heard nonillion for the first time, well, that's indeed a rare figure since it has 30 zeros. That's more zeros than you can count on the largest paycheck you can pay on Earth. But how did a scientist come up with this figure? First, you must know that 1 kilogram of raw diamonds is valued at $1.5 million, and the diamond mass of 55 Cancri is 3 times Earth's. When you multiply the mass of 55 Cancri and the value of raw diamonds, you will get $29 million. Now let's get back to Earth and let's try to contrast our economic data compared to this diamond planet. The gross domestic product, or GDP, tracks the wealth of a country's economy, and our GDP is just about $94 trillion in the year 2022. Compared to the diamond planet, which is worth 26.9 nonillions, you can't even imagine the wide gap with our GDP. Just look at the gap in this ranking. See? The 7 billion humans here on Earth wouldn't worry about money anymore. This is because we would all be multimillionaires. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, then now wake up. Let's face the truth of our economic system. You know, we can't escape the economic laws, right? Sad to say, but that's the truth. Supply and demand exist. The real worth of a planet of diamonds and Earth. Supply and demand is a pretty simple concept, but it might be challenging to understand if you're not used to thinking about economics. In a nutshell, supply and demand are a concept in economics that refers to the relationship between the availability of a product or service and its price. When there is a high demand for something, its price increases. When there is a low demand, its price decreases. So now let's use the analogy using our own planet. Of course, here on Earth, we live in a world where there are only a few diamonds. Diamonds are very valuable and everyone wants them. Because there are so few diamonds, the price of diamonds would be high. It's way higher than what we pay for them today. But what if there were more diamonds? What if our planet was covered in them? Would they still be valuable? Would people even want them anymore? The answer is yes, but not for the reasons you might think about. Try to reconsider the supply and demand. When there is an abundance of something, its value goes down. That's because when something is abundant, it becomes common, and common things aren't special. They're just things. So when there are plenty of diamonds on Earth, everyone can have one. Nobody needs to pay much money for it anymore. But what if I tell you that there's a certain country that is bestowed with some diamonds from the sky? Yes, it's true. However, the question is, do you want to get hit by an asteroid? Diamonds falling from the sky. What makes this discovery so exciting is that diamonds have been found inside asteroids. These asteroids have fallen from space onto Earth. Diamonds falling from the sky might sound a bit impossible, right? But that's what happens when asteroids hit the Earth. The pressure alone will create an impact, and that impact will cause carbon atoms to combine with other elements in unique ways, and ta-da, you now have a diamond. This is exactly what happened around 35 million years ago. There was once a crater formed by the impact of an asteroid. This crater was known as the 4th largest crater on the Earth, and of course, with its vast width of around 100 kilometers, it's believed as home to over 1 trillion carats. With that being said, this crater is now known as the largest diamond field in the world today. Now, the question is, who is the blessed country? Well, at first they tried to keep it a secret, but not until the secret was now uncovered. These enormous diamonds are actually located in Russia, and the site is called Popigai Crater. Our universe is full of wonders, but do you know what makes the Earth more wonderful? It's a jewel for life. It has everything we need and more. We're still surrounded by lots of natural resources and chemical structures needed for survival. Plus, when we look up at the night sky, the twinkling stars serve as shining diamonds to us. The more scientists search for life and things on another planet, the more we realize there's no place like home. Look nowhere. Our planet is the real diamond. What about you? What place would you rather be? Rare diamonds here on Earth or an abundance of diamonds in 55 Cancri? Let's know what you think and comment down below. Thanks for watching.